The California-based AI startup Codeium has just announced a $65 million Series B round of funding. This is absolutely amazing. We're seeing a ton of these really impressive AI code companies come out, and when they raise something like $65 million in a Series B, you know that they're, definitely a very serious player in this space. So this current funding round, they're actually valued at $500 million, $500 million. And what I think is really interesting here is the investment firm's Kleiner Perkins actually led this investment round. This is, a top tier venture capital firm. And they also had some participation from Green Oaks and General Catalyst, another, some more really solid venture capitalists that are backing this. So Codeium is going to use this new capital, all the money they've just raised they're doing a couple things. Number one, they're going to grow their team. They're going to expand their AI-powered coding toolkit. This is something that I thought was absolutely amazing. Codeium's toolkit currently writes over 44% of newly committed code for over 300,000 developers. This is absolutely insane. I know for myself and my own projects, my developers on AI Box, the no-code AI app builder marketplace that I'm currently developing, and if you're interested in investing in, we're running a crowdfunding campaign, link in the description. But my developers use like ChatGPT and a lot of other different AI code tools for everything we're doing. We consult it with a lot of the stuff. Now, it's not perfect every time, but it does it does an amazing job. And I think if you want it to be even better than, let's just say, using GPT-4, you go to AI models that are specifically trained for code. So I'm going to have to tell them definitely to check out Codeium. This is really, really impressive. 300,000 developers are using this, and it's writing 44% of their newly committed code. That's amazing. So all of this investment comes as a bunch of different companies and startups are looking to, find different specialized language models for software development. This is an area that is incredibly expensive. And as we get AI that can help us with this, this is speeding up not only, or it's not just lowering the costs of developing software. So this is something I'm seeing, but it's also speeding up the development time. And for me personally, it's honestly about time. Like it's, when you're trying to get things out really fast, AI is a fast moving market. Software right now is on an absolute tear. You need to get stuff out fast. And that's exactly what these AI tools are helping to do. So
have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app, or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
Right now, this whole space, there's a bunch of big players. Of course, there's GitHub and Amazon that are kind of, making these AI code tools. But this whole space is expected to be a $106 million opportunity by 2030, growing at a compound annual growth rate of over 25%, which is really, really impressive. We talk about, how big the AI space is and how big, different sectors of that are. But just the coding space, just generating the code is worth over $106 million by 2023. So that's some estimates. I personally actually think it's going to be higher than that, a lot higher than that, but that's my own opinion. Codeium right now is addressing a lot of the challenges of manual software development. And of course, it just takes a long time. Like, this stuff is really lengthy. These development cycles take a long time. And so it's really trying to address that. Of course, you have ChatGPT and Codex that have accelerated software development, automation tasks like writing code snippets and, translating languages, a lot of these things that you have to do. But I think Codeium is kind of taking this to a new level with a LLM specifically for this. So Codeium was actually founded by some MIT grads. There's Varun Mohan and Douglas Chen, that both of them have a security focused LLM toolkit for personalized code suggestions. That's really what they've built with Codeium. And this toolkit now supports over 70 languages and works in over 40 integrated developer environments, or IDEs, right? So this is incredible to me. 70 languages are supported there. So it's not just like something that people are using in America or in English. This is all over the world. This is going to have some major impacts. So Codeium can be self-hosted, or it can be deployed on a SOC 2 type 2 compliant SaaS, which I think is important, right? Because when you're using these for your own projects, you can self-host this. It's not that big of a deal. But if you're a major company, you have to be SOC 2 compliant. And so they do also have the ability for you to do that, which I think is impressive.
TIAA is on a mission. Why? Because 54% of Black Americans don't have enough savings to retire. So in collaboration with big-name artists like Wyclef Jean, TIAA released Paper Right, new music inspiring a new financial future. With 100% of streaming sales going to a nonprofit that teaches students how to invest. Stream Paper Right now and help close the gap.
The toolkit right now integrates with existing source code management systems for full repository context awareness, meaning you can essentially have this working with your code repository. Like, let's say you have a massive app. You already have a ton of code that you've written for this thing. It can look at all the code in your own personal code repository and make sure that what it's writing is working with that. It's in the same style as, different coders have different styles and different ways of formatting things. So it's able to follow all of that. And I think that's really, really impressive, but also important. So Codeium claims to own the hardware layer for large-scale AI workloads, keeping costs lower than a lot of the industry competitors. This is their claim. Some people are testing it. Some people agree. Some people disagree. But in any case, Codeium has scaled to over 300,000 users, which I think is impressive. They did this in under 15 months. And I think that really this is kind of the future of where we see these go, these specialized AI models that do something very specific like coding. So Codeium's AI toolkit has been used by companies like Atlassian, Anduril, Clearwater Analytics, and a bunch of other Fortune 500 firms. So this is being used by some serious players. The toolkit right now offers a free individual version, and then they also have a business-centric version, which starts at $12 a user per month, which honestly is really not that expensive when you see, $12 a month is actually incredibly cheap when you say this thing can generate 44% of someone's new pushed code, right? Like, you're paying these people $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. I have friends making over $400,000 a year as developers, and for $12 a month, you could theoretically augment them by 44%. Like, this is a no-brainer. It's not even a cost. It's free, right? So customer code right now is not being saved or used for training in the public system. I think this is important to a lot of people. GitHub kind of had this problem with their Copilot where they were like taking people's private code repositories, I believe Apple's in particular, and they were using that to train, and then people were typing code and they were getting snippets from Apple's actual code repository. This is a big no-no. Nobody wants their code to be stolen by other people or used for training purposes, so they're not doing that. With this current Series B funding round, Codeium is planning essentially to grow its engineering and sales teams and then to expand its platform overall. So the goal is to cover every stage of the software development lifecycle. So that includes system design, code maintenance, and then of course fixing security vulnerabilities, which is really important. So Codeium is right now aiming to make developers 20% more productive, and their vision is to increase productivity by 20x in the future. So really, really impressive, but I think they're already off to an amazing start with this. So there's a bunch of other players that are currently in this same space. You have Replit, GitHub Copilot, SourceGraph, Amazon SageMaker, Google's AlphaCode. There's a bunch of other players, but right now Codeium is doing an incredible job, and I tend to root for the underdog not owned by $1 trillion company, aka Amazon, Google, Microsoft. So I'm really hoping that they're able to make some impressive strides in the industry. I'll definitely keep you up to date, but overall a very impressive Series B, and a huge congratulations to the entire team over at Codeium.